So excited to be the last speaker. One of the main ways that I do this is a games-based approach, and I use a lot of constraints to work on skills as well as the game aspects, moving without the ball and things like that. So when I say the games-based approach, I'm not game situational, I'm not skill. I try to combine both. I can work on the game actions, but I can also work on raw skills. I'm going to show you guys kind of how I do that in a little bit. And one of the reasons I really love this is it allows players to explore the environment, to implicitly learn. I can set up the environment in a way where the player does the learning without me. I don't have to teach them everything. My main goal with the games-based approach is setting up the environment for the players to learn on their own. Implicit learning. It's going to be much more effective in the long term if these players can learn without me saying anything. Now, obviously, there's times I have to step in, I have to talk, I have to teach. But again, that's not my first way to do everything. I want to allow these players to learn, explore, mess up, fail, learn on their own. And I'm just guiding that discovery. I'm just leading the players into the right situations to learn on their own. That's kind of how I do things. Another one of the benefits that I really love about the games-based approach is something called repetition without repetition. Say I'm doing a hip-to-hip one-on-one drill. I'm repping out the same exact thing over and over and over again, but no two reps are the exact same, right? So I'm doing something in a block style, but because every rep is different, it creates that variability, makes that learning a little bit more effective. So again, like I said here, can be both game enhancement and skill enhancement. Now, again, kind of getting into how I use this, I do play, then drill, then play. So I start every session, like Mike G was saying, with a game. He kind of talked about exactly the benefits to that. Players come in, what happens? They smile. They're playing the game. They're having fun. They loosen up a little bit. But I can also put them in situations where they can start to learn, maybe I need to acquire this footwork. This is where I'm struggling. I can't really quite do this yet. Now I get into the drill section where I might do some raw skill stuff. Now they have context. Okay, now I know why I'm working on this skill. This makes a lot of sense. I need to work on this. Heightened focus. Like Mike G was saying, the more attention that we can have and intent, the better we're going to be at acquiring skills, right? Then at the end, again, I'm playing. We're doing games, and it's all focused around whatever it is the focus for the day, or what these players need to work on. So I found this to be extremely beneficial for building skills as well as game aspects. And one of the key things that I manipulate is constraints. So this is how I can make it both game enhancement and skill enhancement. I can implement certain constraints, which you guys will see in a very short while. I can present constraints that can make it more skill-based or games-based, more based on that individual person and what they need. I'm going to kind of show you how I will do the play, drill, play. I'll also kind of show you how I might teach in those situations, just very briefly. And again, this is not everything that I do. This is more for that game setting. I mean, for those group settings, individual sessions, I change things up, right? So this is not everything that I do. This is a large chunk of it and kind of how I run sessions. All right, so let's get partners right here. I'm going to start with a simple game. All right, so right now they know that they're going to be working on different 2-foot variations and 2-foot skills. So it's not as implicit because they know exactly what we're going to work on. So let's go, you two are up first. I might get into a different warm-up before this. Maybe they're playing soccer kind of like Coleman does, or we're playing we're playing tag or stuff like that, right? So I might get into something to kind of warm them up a little bit, then I might get into this. So let's start. Braden, you've done this one right here. Actually, you go on offense. You're going to start right here. You're starting right underneath the rim. You're going to go from that lane line to this lane line. Okay, shuffling. Go ahead, start. So whenever you want, you can toss him the ball. Okay, once you do, he has 2 steps and has to finish off 2 feet at the rim. You're going to try to block him. No dribble. No dribble. You're going to try to block him. Okay, so this might be a situation where I introduce the skill that I'm trying to work on. Much more fun way to do it than just repping out some boring 2-foot stuff. Okay, so to them, this just looks like a game. This doesn't look like training. They don't know what they're necessarily working on yet, but it's fun. All right, so let's get a couple reps. You guys are going to do the same thing. Yep, now you guys go. Just switch it up every time. Good. Yes, sir, Dell. Get a couple of them. Not bad. One more each. Nice. Not bad. Right, so it doesn't look as pretty, but we're also getting that repetition without repetition, right? We're getting a lot of reps off 2 feet, but not everyone's the exact same, right? Let's get into another 2-foot variation that I would use. So we're gonna start up here, Braden, we're gonna go hip to hip. This is where I might utilize some certain constraints. Very basic one, you just have to finish off 2 feet. Okay, so maybe Braden's on my hip here. Whenever we go, Drew kind of did this yesterday, or yeah, it was yesterday. Tacking, and then they have to finish off 2 feet. Okay, I'm not giving them any specific footwork that they have to do. I'm allowing them to explore. So these guys are probably pretty skilled. They know kind of all the different footworks that they can use. If they don't, they're exploring opportunities. I'm not telling them the answers. I'm guiding them to their own answers, right? So let's get a couple reps. You guys can do the same thing. So you're going to go on the other hip. Finish anywhere you want. Off 2 feet, that's the only rule you guys have. We'll take it. Oh boy. Good. One more each. Cool. Good. So after we might get a lot of reps of that, I might implement different constraints. They might be starting in different areas, might be different rules. We might get into some drill stuff. So the other good thing about the games-based approach, especially starting, is it exposes their weaknesses. Maybe they're driving to the rim and they can't quite get into this finish right here. Again, they're not seeing that as an opportunity to act because they don't have that skill. So now we're going to get into the drill section where we might work on that, right? So I can kind of see and expose their weaknesses, then we can work on it in the drill section. So let's just get you two have a ball right here. Give him the ball. So all you guys are going to do, any move you want, attack the rim. You're going to alternate between that outside, inside, inside, outside. All right, so a little bit of variability. Not going to be as pretty at first. These guys might get it down perfectly because they're skilled. Say these players can't. Outside, inside, inside, outside. Okay? 1, 2. And then just keep repping it out. So alternate every single time. Got it?
Do whatever move.
Any move you want. So now you get into the other one. Good. Again, now you got to do the other one.
Inside, outside.
It's a fucking open layup, boys. Whew. So, hold up. What's going on right now? He's struggling. Now, if I was to jump in and say, hey, let's walk through this really slow. I'm going to give you every single little detail. You think he could get it? Yeah. But I'm giving him the answers. I'm going to allow him to explore and try to figure it out on himself. I'm not going to say anything. Now, maybe he goes 3, 4, 5 reps. Then I might jump in. Again, if I'm jumping in and giving him the answers, guess what? I just ripped away that optimal zone improvement. Just like a teacher, you're taking a test. Teacher gives you the answers. You think you're going to learn what you just took a test on? Absolutely not. Same shit. I'm just going to let him figure it out. You good? You good? Yeah, keep going. We're going to keep going until he gets it. You have to alternate, though. Now you got to get into the other finish we were working on. You got to do the other one. Inside, outside, outside, inside. We're going to keep letting him struggle until we get it. All right, so what are you struggling with?
Getting the inside foot down first.
Okay. So hold up, you teach it to me. Like I just taught it, like the finish that we're working on, teach it to me.
The inside, outside?
Yeah.
So you
So you can walk through it.
Pound. 1, 2.
Is that a good place to jump from, you think?
Oh, not that one.
Well, like your feet positioning.
Yeah,
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to say anything.
Oh.
So hold up. Do you see how I'm trying to guide him to his own answers? I'm just probing questions. I'm just trying to get you to figure it out. I'm having you teach me. I'm asking you questions. That's how it's going to learn. That's how it's going to stick. Go ahead. Keep going. My bad. Good. Go. Now you got to give me the other finish.
That was the first one.
Good. Good, there we go. So was that more implicit or explicit, the way that he kind of just acquired that footwork? Implicit, right? It's not perfectly implicit, but it's a little bit more down that spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So now that we did the play, we did a little bit of drill, that's kind of how I would organize it. We can get into another play section. Okay, so let's go 3 people. Delvin, you're going to be help side. Let's go have you on that block right there. So now I'm going to introduce a section where they can work on that footwork that they just acquired. Okay, so you're going to start the ball on his back. As soon as that ball leaves, you can play defense. You can go left or right. As soon as he leaves, you're trying to block him.
Just spin a certain way. It doesn't matter.
Whenever the ball comes off, play. Good. Now let's switch. Let's go. Braden, you're on defense down there. You're on offense. Delvin, you're on defense. Good. Other thing, everything has to be off 2 feet now. Okay? That's the constraint. 2-foot finishes only. Nice. So what's another element that I talked about that's included in this right here? Perception and action, right? So now we're combining that skill with the read. Getting both, working them both together. All right, keep going. Thought one of you guys would have had that. Tough though. Let's go one more make. Not off 2 feet. That's fine. So it's a little bit uglier, right? Than if we were to just do this on air. Yeah. Doesn't always need to look pretty. Embrace the ugliness sometimes. Woo! Yes, sir! Tough. All right, I'm going to put someone on the spot. Who can come out here and give me some sort of a game off 2 feet? Again, I'm putting people on the spot. I want to see if anyone wants to do it. You can. I'll help you through it. Yeah, some sort of a game that forces them to work off 2 feet. You want to do it?
Your ball handler? Yeah.
Let's get it. Anything that works on those 2-foot finishes that we just worked on.
So you're here. Y'all are both going to be here. Alright. Your job is to touch the baseline. Alright? Test. You got to touch like outside free throw elbow. And you got to finish off 2.
Hey!
Woo! You got one. You got one.
Your turn, Braden.
Ready? Go.
Give me that. Not bad. That's fine. So does this look extremely game specific? No. There's definitely some game components to it, right? Read, react. This doesn't necessarily look like a game though, right? That spectrum, we can work up and down. We can take this, we can simplify it, make it look less like a game. Or we can build it up 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, make it look more like a game. So again, main thing I want you guys to take away, everything's a dial, right? Those 6 principles that I gave you, you can play with them, you can manipulate them to make sure the player is getting the best reps possible. Because again, not all reps are created equal.